grab your popcorn because we're diving straight into the ultimate superhero smash-ups. There's nothing quite like watching our favorite Caped Crusaders absolutely batter each other. This list is in no specific order, but is guaranteed to blow your mind. Let the heroic carnage begin. Coming in hot for our first mental scrap, we have the Man of Steel himself squaring off against his doppelganger Ultraman. If you thought looking in the mirror after a massive night out at the pub was terrifying, just imagine your reflection flying out and trying to punch you into the bloody sun. This cinematic absolute unit of a brawl gives us everything a true comic book geek could possibly ask for. We're talking proper super strength haymakers, heat vision being blasted midair, and enough collateral damage to make a city planner weep into their morning tea. You literally cannot look away when these two titans clash in a proper heavyweight bout. The CGI bros over at the studio definitely earned their paychecks on this one, and even though Ultraman isn't a villain, he is Superman's clone, so he counts. It's a brilliant spectacle that genuinely captures the sheer, unadulterated power levels of Kryptonian DNA going utterly rogue. Honestly, the visual flair alone makes it top-tier cinema. Who needs a standard villain when you can literally punch your own worst habits right in the face? Absolute top cinema, my fellow pop culture friends.
Gotcha.
Whoa, Jet.
Matt?
Now let's talk about a right proper dust-up that caught all of us entirely off guard. Seeing the gritty devil of Hell's Kitchen doing mad parkour around a hulking green lawyer is the absolute peak absurdity we desperately crave. It's literally like watching a bloody ninja try to fight a massive, extremely sassy armored tank. Charlie Cox returns with the glorious swagger, and the choreography brilliantly mixes his gritty open-air agility with her pure unbridled gamma strength. He's flipping off wherever he can while she just wants to swat him like a particularly annoying acrobatic mosquito. You've got to love the cheeky banter here though, yeah? They're flirting as much as they're fighting, creating this utterly bizarre but genuinely fantastic romantic tension on screen. It's a refreshing palate cleanser from the usual doom and gloom of the multiverse ending every 5 minutes. Honestly, if my local court cases were decided by two incredibly fit lawyers having a rooftop brawl, I'd probably go to a law school myself. A brilliantly executed, highly entertaining and incredibly memorable little scrap. And yes, She-Hulk still sucks.
You're very annoying.
Sam Raimi went full horror wizard with this one. This isn't your typical energy beam duel. It's a surreal, musical showdown that feels like a total fever dream. Seeing our Strange face off against a three-eyed version of himself in a collapsing sanctum is haunting. The way they weaponize actual musical notes, plucking them off the air and hurling them like daggers, is one of the most creative things the MCU has ever done. You can hear the dissonance in the soundtrack as the dark notes clash with the light ones. It's a visual and auditory feast that perfectly captures the madness the title promised. The specific moment where Sinister Strange gets impaled on a fence after a massive magical blast is surprisingly dark and visceral. It highlights the tragedy of a man who looked into the abyss and blinked. The CGI is top tier, making the musical magical constructs feel tangible and dangerous. It's a properly weird, wonderfully imaginative scrap that proves the most dangerous threat to a sorcerer is often just their own bad life choices in another dimension. This imaginative and bizarre duel stands out as a high point in the film dimension.
I take it all back. The Honda Odyssey hard. Too bad you don't need
Putting these two in a cramped Honda Odyssey was a stroke of absolute genius. It's a bloody, chaotic and hilarious mess that only these two characters could pull off. You've got Wolverine relentlessly stabbing Wade through the seats, while Deadpool is desperately trying to use his weapons in about 2 inches of space. The choreography is brilliant because it uses the entire interior of the car, the dashboard, the headrests, even the cigarette lighter, as a weapon. It's visceral, wince-inducing ultra-violence paired with a pop soundtrack, which is the ultimate Deadpool vibe, isn't it? You can see the sheer frustration on Logan's face as he realizes Wade just won't stay down no matter how many holes he puts in him. The moment they both go flying through the windscreen while still trying to kill each other is pure gold. It's the perfect showcase for their love-hate dynamic, and the fact that it all happens in such a pathetic little minivan just makes the whole thing even better. The interior of that poor car looks like a red modern art masterpiece by the end of this fight. The chaotic and bloody brawl is everything fans wanted, isn't it?
He's inside my pack!
Sorry! Oh, seems like a really great guy.
This is easily one of the most creative fights in the early MCU. Scott Lang breaking into the Avengers compound and running into Sam Wilson was the perfect way to test his suit's potential. The scale of the fight is what makes it so good. 1 minute they're at full size, and the next, Sam is desperately trying to swat a microscopic Scott away like a bug. The sequence where Scott shrinks down and starts pulling wires out of Sam's flight pack is brilliant. You can see the genuine panic on Falcon's face as his tech starts malfunctioning for no apparent reason. It's a cheeky, fast-paced encounter that highlights just how dangerous a guy who can shrink can be. Against high-tech military gear. Sam trying to use his high-tech goggles to track Scott through the grass is a great touch, showing that even the best tech has its limits. It ends with a properly funny moment of Scott apologizing while he literally sabotages a billion-pound piece of hardware. This scrap is a total riot and a classic underdog story. It's a great introduction to Scott's unique and often overlooked set of powers.
Guys, look, I'd love to keep this up, but I've only got one job here today, and I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so I'm really sorry.
Talk about a grand entrance. Peter Parker swinging into the airport terminal and casually embarrassing 2 war veterans is still one of the best moments in the franchise. The way he catches Bucky's metal arm mid-punch
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude.
and just starts geeking out about the material is peak Spider-Man. He's completely unfazed by the fact that he's fighting a super soldier and a guy with mechanical wings. The choreography is so fluid, showing Spidey bouncing off the walls and webbing Sam up while he's still mid-flight. You can feel the sheer annoyance coming off Sam and Bucky as this chatty teenager keeps talking circles around the mod doing parkour. When Peter uses his webs to swing Falcon through a glass window, it's just total disrespect, but in the best possible way. It's a light-hearted scrap that perfectly introduced Tom Holland's version of the character, showing off his insane power, his agility, and his complete lack of a filter. A properly fun bit of action that proves teenagers are the ultimate threat to seasoned military men, and you have the right to remain silent is the perfect cherry on top. This debut remains one of Spidey's best scenes.
Those wings carbon fiber?
This stuff coming out of you?
That would explain the rigidity-flexibility ratio, which, gotta say, that's awesome.
I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but...
This was the ultimate brain over brawn moment. We get the big, flashy aerial battle with both visions phasing through each other and firing beams in the sky, which looks spectacular.
Wanda Maximoff must be neutralized.
The visual of 2 vibranium beings clashing over Westview is top-notch, but the real fight happens inside a quiet library. Watching them debate the ship of Theseus while they're supposed to be killing each other is just so perfectly in character for Vision.
Destroy the Vision.
It's a psychological and philosophical battle that's just as intense as the physical one. The moment White Vision's eyes change as he regains his memories is a genuinely moving bit of performance.
But I'm not the true Vision.
It proves that you don't always need a massive explosion to end a superhero scrap. Sometimes just a bit of logic and a shared identity are even more powerful. It's a sophisticated, beautifully written conclusion to their conflict that felt earned and unique. It's basically a mental chess match disguised as a massive CGI slugfest, and it's absolute television cinema that managed to give us a resolution that felt both smart and deeply poetic. This cerebral showdown is a refreshing change of pace for the MCU.
You must be destroyed. No, then.
All the dinosaurs feared the T-Rex. Oh! I promise this gets worse for you, big boy!
This is the definition of don't try this at home. Watching Wade confidently throw a punch at a guy made of solid organic steel and immediately shattering his hand is comedy perfection. The sound of his wrist snapping is absolutely wince-inducing, but you can't help but laugh as he just keeps trying. He kicks Colossus in the shin and his ankle just turns to jelly. It's a brilliant bit of slapstick that establishes exactly how Deadpool's healing factor works.
Let us go talk to the professor.
McAvoy or Stewart?
He can take an insane amount of punishment, even if it's self-inflicted. Colossus just stands there, looking like a disappointed dad, while Wade flails around with broken limbs is a fantastic dynamic. It's a properly R-rated, hilarious sequence that sets the tone for the whole movie. You've got to love the sheer stubbornness of a guy who'll literally break every bone in his body just to prove a point. He looks like an absolute muppet, but it is classic Wade, isn't it? This scene completely redefines the standard superhero brawl with a heavy dose of glorious, X-rated stupidity and bone-crunching comedy. This hilarious exchange remains a fan favorite for its sheer absurdity and gore.
That's not good.
Wade, please.
Cockshot! Oh, your poor wife.
You really should stop.
This was the heavyweight bout we were all waiting for in 2012. Seeing the God of Thunder go toe-to-toe with the Hulk on the helicarrier was a massive cinematic event. It's a raw, brutal display of power. Thor's one of those people who can actually stand his ground against a raging Hulk, and watching them trade blows that shake the entire ship is incredible. The moment Thor tries to summon Mjolnir and Hulk just punches him out of the frame is one of the most iconic shots in the MCU. You can feel the sheer force of the impact through the screen. The fight is claustrophobic and messy, with both of them trashing the laboratory and the corridors. It perfectly captured the danger of having these two powerhouses on the same team. When Hulk tries to lift the hammer and the floor starts to give way because he's literally too angry to be worthy, it's a brilliant detail. This was the moment we knew the Avengers were going to be something special, and it's still an absolute banger today. This classic duel set the standard for heavy hitter fights.
We are not your enemy's banner. Try to think.
This is quite possibly the messiest superhero fight ever, and I mean that in the best way. Tony is absolutely wasted at his own birthday party, wearing the suit and acting like a total jerk. When Rhodey finally has enough and puts on the Mark II to stop him, it turns into a proper domestic fight. They're trashing Tony's luxury mansion, smashing through walls, and blowing up expensive DJ equipment while a party's still going on. It's a brilliantly chaotic scene that shows you how far Tony has fallen. The weight of the suit feels real here. Every time they crash onto the floor, you can feel the impact. The moment they both fire their repulsors at each other, creating a massive explosion that levels the room, is a properly cool visual. It's a sad but necessary scrap that forces Tony to face his demons, while also giving us our first real taste of the War Machine armor. It's uniquely entertaining because it blends intense action with the sheer absurdity of billionaires fighting over metal suits while completely intoxicated. This fight perfectly captures Tony's low point and Rhodey's loyalty. This one is all about the skill. No powers, no suits, just two of the world's best assassins trying to take out each other in the bowels of the helicarrier. Clint is mind-controlled and Natasha is desperately trying to bring him back without killing him. The choreography is incredibly tight and visceral. You can see the years of shared training in the way they anticipate each other's moves. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse where every grapple and strike feels properly dangerous. The specific moment where Natasha uses a pipe to trap Clint's arm and then delivers a massive headbutt to recalibrate his brain is legendary. It's a gritty, grounded fight that stands out in a movie filled with gods and aliens. You can feel the emotional weight behind every strike, especially from Natasha's side. It's a brilliant reminder that these characters are just as lethal as the heavy hitters. This scrap proves you don't need superpowers to deliver a gripping, high-intensity fight scene that keeps us on the edge of our seats. Their deep bond makes every blow feel like a personal tragedy. The tension leading up to this was unbearable. After Walker murders a person in cold blood with the shield, Sam and Bucky have to step in. It's a brutal three-way brawl in a dusty warehouse that feels incredibly heavy. Walker is juiced up on the serum and he's fighting like a cornered animal, using the shield with terrifying lethality. The teamwork between Sam and Bucky is what makes this special. They're perfectly in sync, using Bucky's metal arm and Sam's wings to slowly wear Walker down. The moment they finally pit him and Sam has to literally snatch the shield out of his hands is so cathartic. You can see the physical and emotional toll it takes on all of them. Sam's wings getting snapped is a huge blow, but it's worth it to get that shield back. It's a dark, grounded and properly violent confrontation that felt like a major turning point for the whole series. Every punch thrown feels bone-shatteringly painful.
I am Captain America.
Capturing the exhaustion and desperation of everyone involved in this warehouse scrap. This visceral struggle perfectly illustrates the burden of Captain America's legacy. This is the ultimate who are you misunderstanding. Seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy take on Iron Man, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man on Titan is pure entertainment. It's a chaotic mix of gadgets, magic and massive egos. You've got Spidey getting confused by Mantis, Tony trying to blast Drax, and Quill using his gravity mines to pin down a literal wizard. The banter is top notch here, with Tony and Quill immediately clashing over who has the better plan. The standoff at the end, with Quill holding a gun to Peter's head while Tony aims at Drax, is iconic. Where is Gamora? I'll do one better. Who is Gamora? I'll do one better. Why is Gamora? It's a line that's gonna live forever, isn't it? It's a brilliantly choreographed sequence that manages to give every character a moment to shine while keeping the energy high and the jokes landing. It perfectly blends the distinct visual of two massive franchises into one fast-paced, wonderfully inventive skirmish that never fails to make us cheer. This meeting of two very different teams is absolute fan service. This is a proper family tragedy on a cosmic scale. Seeing the Eternals have to turn against their most powerful member, Icarus, is heartbreaking. The fight on the beach is visually stunning, with the golden energy of their powers clashing against the dark volcanic sand. Icarus is a beast. He's essentially an evil Superman with laser eyes, and the others have to be incredibly creative to even stand a chance. The super speed sequence with Makari is arguably the best speedster fight ever put on screen. She's hitting him from every angle before he can react, and the way the sound cuts as she moves is genius. Phastos using his constructs to trap Icarus is also a highlight, showing the power of intellect over raw strength. It's a grand, epic and deeply emotional battle that really showcase what makes this team unique. Watching thousands of years of family history culminate in this desperate, world-saving brawl carries a massive weight. It's a genuinely epic, wonderfully choreographed team fight that truly showcases their massive potential. This emotional family feud remains one of the MCU's most unique battles.
You don't get to come back from that. Not ever. I count 10, armed.
This is about as gritty as it gets. Matt Murdock and Frank Castle are two sides of the same coin, and when they clash on a rooftop,
God damn it, Frank. We want the same thing.
That's bullshit.
it's always a bloodbath. Their fight is legendary because it's not just about the punches, it's a moral argument over the soul of the city. Frank's trying to prove that Matt's half measures don't work, while Matt's desperately trying to stop a killer. The action is raw and unpolished, with both of them looking completely exhausted by the end. Frank's sheer brutality, using everything from chains to his bare hands, is a great contrast to Matt's more refined acrobatic ninja skills. You can feel the weight of every impact on the cold New York pavement. It's a masterclass in street-level action storytelling where the stakes feel personal and the consequences are real. There are absolutely no winners here in this one. Just two battered men leaving everything they have on the concrete roof in a dark, uncompromising war of ideologies and physical pain. This remains one of the most grounded and brutal duels in superhero media.
They killed my kids. Don't you get that?
Do right by them. Help me. Work with me to find the man who gave the order.
And then what, Red? We gotta bring him in for justice. Is that what we're gonna do?
The big one, the one we all talked about for months. Seeing Team Cap and Team Stark face off on the airport tarmac is the closest we've ever come to a comic book splash page coming to life. There are so many moving parts here in this one. From Ant-Man becoming Giant Man to Spidey taking down War Machine. The choreography is incredible because it manages to keep track of everyone while still making the individual matchups feel important. You've got Wanda throwing cars, Vision slicing through towers, and Hawkeye and Widow trading blows for old time's sake. Despite the massive scale, it never actually feels messy. It's a playground of superhero powers where everyone gets their own wow moment. The fact that they're all friends who don't really want to hurt each other adds a layer of tension to every punch. It's a masterful, wildly entertaining spectacle that effortlessly juggles massive action, brilliant comedy, and deep character drama. This monumental cinematic achievement is the holy grail of superhero clashes and a total joy to watch. This massive brawl is a landmark moment in superhero cinema history.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
Now this was a visual masterpiece. Seeing Peter Parker trying to outmaneuver the Sorcerer Supreme in the mirror dimension was just incredible. The way the environment folds and twists, with trains running through the sky and skyscrapers turning into kaleidoscopic patterns, is mind-blowing. Peter isn't trying to fight Strange with magic, he's using his brain and his agility. The sequence where he uses geometry and maths to web up the arrogant Doctor is a brilliant bit of character writing.
Give me that back!
It shows that Spidey isn't just a kid with powers, he's a genius in his own right. The visual effects are top tier, making the reality warping feel tactile and dangerous. Strange is clearly holding back, but Peter's sheer persistence is what wins the day for him. It's a unique, inventive, and visually stunning chase that stands out as one of the best parts of this movie. Using Archimedean spirals to outsmart a master of the mystic arts is peak Peter Parker, and the final visual of Strange webbed up is iconic. This mind-bending duel perfectly showcases Peter's brilliance and his refusal to give up.
You know what's cooler than magic?
Math!
Don't do this. Ow.
When the Hulk goes on a rampage in Johannesburg, Tony has to call in Veronica. The Hulkbuster's a massive, chunky piece of engineering that feels properly heavy. Every step it takes cracks the pavement. The fight itself is a literal city leveler.
In the back?
Seeing Tony frantically trying to swap out broken parts in the middle of the fight is a great touch too, showing how much of a struggle it is to contain a raging Hulk. The moment where Tony's just rapid fire punching Hulk in the face while yelling "Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep" is pure gold. The collateral damage is insane, with them smashing through buildings like they're just made of cardboard. It's a visceral, high-impact brawl that really highlights the terrifying power of both characters.
I'm sorry.
And Tony's insane engineering. The final blow that sends Hulk through a skyscraper is a properly massive ending to one of the biggest scraps in the MCU. It's practically a kaiju battle in a populated city, and every collision feels like a meteor strike. This massive slugfest remains one of the most purely fun and destructive fights. I know they don't wear spandex, but this is 100% a superhero fight. The dojo scene is a landmark in cinema history where Neo finally starts to believe. The choreography by Yen Wu Ping is flawless, blending traditional kung fu with gravity-defying wirework. You can see Neo's progression from being hesitant and slow to becoming a blur of motion. Morpheus isn't just fighting him, he's teaching him, pushing him to break the rules of the digital world. "Stop trying to hit me and hit me" is such an iconic moment. The sound design with the sharp snaps of their gi and the impact of their strikes makes it feel incredibly tactile and real. It's a beautifully shot minimalist fight that changed how action movies were made for decades. It's not just about the CGI, it's about the movement, the philosophy, and the sheer coolness of the two characters. The groundbreaking sequence effortlessly combines martial arts with mind-bending physics, and it still looks absolutely spectacular today. This foundational scene perfectly blends style and substance in a way very few others have.
Power at 400% capacity.
How about that?
The classic ego clash in the woods. This was the first time we saw these two heavyweights go at it, and it didn't disappoint. Tony's arrogance meeting Thor's godlike pride was always going to end in a scrap over Loki's custody. The way they trade blows here, Thor swinging Mjolnir and Tony using his repulsors, looks fantastic against the dark, moody forest. The highlight is definitely when Thor hits Tony with a massive bolt of lightning, only for Jarvis to report that the suit is at 400% capacity. Tony's cheeky "how about that" before blasting Thor back is peak Iron Man. They're basically two toddlers fighting over a toy, and it's a brilliant bit of character-driven action. When Cap finally shows up and uses his shield to absorb a massive hammer strike,
That's enough.
it's the perfect end to the chaos. It's a highly energetic, wonderfully funny, and visually stunning skirmish that perfectly introduced their dynamic and showed that technology can actually stand up to a god. This first meeting perfectly established the friction within the Avengers core. This wasn't a fight, it was a massacre. Watching a fully unleashed, grief-stricken Scarlet Witch walk through some of the most powerful heroes in the multiverse was genuinely terrifying. Sam Raimi brought his horror roots back to this sequence, and it shows. Black Bolt's death is properly shocking. She raises his mouth and lets his own power cave his skull in.
Haven't you had enough? Oh, I could do this all day.
Then she turns Reed Richards into blue string cheese and slices Captain Carter in half with her own shield. It's a brutal, cold-blooded display of power that firmly established Wanda as the most dangerous person in the MCU. The way she moves through the facility, covered in oil and blood, feels like something out of a slasher movie, doesn't it? It's a bold, dark, and incredibly memorable slaughter that left everyone in total shock. This sequence completely redefines what a magic user can do, establishing her as an unstoppable god of chaos. I'm still genuinely recovering from the sheer brutality of this one. This shocking and ruthless display of power remains one of the darkest moments. Taika Waititi gave us the colourful, neon-soaked gladiator match we always wanted. Thor seeing Hulk and immediately cheering, "He's a friend from work," is a legendary moment. But the fight itself is no joke. It's a massive, high-impact brawl in a packed Sakara arena. Hulk is at his most aggressive, and Thor's forced to fight without his hammer, using dual swords and sheer Norse strength. The choreography is fantastic, with plenty of physical comedy mixed in, like Hulk smashing Thor around exactly the way he did to Loki. But when Thor's eyes start glowing with lightning and he hits Hulk with a massive uppercut, the energy goes through the roof. It's a fun, vibrant, and properly epic rematch that really revitalized Thor's chapter. This spectacle perfectly balances incredibly heavy action with top-tier laugh-out-loud comedy, and that final slow-motion leap as they clash is a visual masterpiece. It's arguably the best version of the iconic rivalry we've ever seen on screen. This brilliant and hilarious rematch is a pure joy to experience over and over again. The ultimate grudge match here. Zack Snyder delivered a dark, moody, and hyper-visceral battle that felt like it was ripped straight from the comics. The imagery of an armored Batman standing in the rain staring up at a god is iconic. This isn't a fair fight here, it's a calculated ambush. Seeing Bruce use kryptonite gas to level the playing field is fascinating. Once Clark is weakened, it becomes a brutal, heavy-hitting street fight. You can feel the weight of every punch as Batman batters the Man of Steel through walls and floors. It's a desperate, angry scrap that highlights Bruce's paranoia and Clark's confusion. Say what you will about the Martha moment, but the actual physical fight itself is a visual masterpiece. It's a gritty, uncompromising look at what happens when two legends finally clash. This heavyweight bout is a breathtaking realization of Frank Miller's legendary comic panels, and the look of shock on Clark's face when his invulnerability fails is absolutely priceless cinema. This moody and intense showdown is a visual and emotional powerhouse.
Men are brave.
This is the most heartbreaking fight in the MCU. It's not about saving the world, it's about a son's grief and a friend's loyalty. When Tony sees the footage of Bucky killing his parents, all logic goes out the window. The fight in the Siberian bunker is claustrophobic and incredibly violent.
This isn't gonna change what happened. I don't care. You killed me.
Seeing Cap and Bucky teammate Tony passing the shield back and forth with military precision is a masterclass in action choreography. Tony's fighting with pure blind rage, using his repulsors and lasers in ways that feel properly lethal. Every impact feels heavy and personal. The final image of Steve slamming the shield into Tony's chest piece, effectively killing the suit and their friendship, is a real gut punch. It's a tragic, beautifully shot and deeply emotional conclusion to the movie that genuinely stands as the pinnacle of cinematic superhero conflicts. Every single punch thrown feels deeply personal and incredibly painful, leaving the team and our hearts completely shattered. This tragic and personal conflict is the emotional peak of the entire franchise. So for the top spot, we have the ultimate power trip. A newly resurrected, confused Superman taking on the entire Justice League is just terrifying. The highlight is undoubtedly the speedster moment. Flash is moving so fast the world has stopped, only for Clark's glowing red eye to slowly pan over and lock eyes with him. It's a moment of pure dread that establishes the massive gap in their power levels. He treats the rest of the league like they're nothing, swatting Aquaman away, crushing Batman's gauntlets, and overpowering Wonder Woman's bracelets with ease. The cinematography is heavily stylized and dramatic, giving the entire skirmish a deeply mythic, larger-than-life feeling. It's a brilliant reminder that a completely unrestrained Superman is basically a walking, flying, extinction-level event. This god-tier display of supreme cinematic power expertly builds incredible tension before Lois Lane steps in. It's the perfect showcase for why Clark is the most powerful person on the planet and a properly epic way to finish our list. This overwhelming show of power is the definitive Superman moment.
Kal-El, no!
Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.